Welcome to Smex Ed. Class is in session.
I'm your host, Amanda King, and I'm here to teach anybody who wants to fucking listen how to have the audacity to say fuck it to societal standards and live their most authentic life. This podcast is dedicated to bringing the sexual conversations we have behind doors onto the main fucking stage. Because sex, masturbation, squirting, guess what? It is all normal. And by bringing these conversations to the forefront, we help people feel less alone in this world. We help them feel safe. We help them gain their power back. We help them step into their confidence and express themselves sexually in this world unapologetically. Because it takes fucking audacity to be your truest self. And we have a boatloads of audacity all up in this bitch. So let me ask you this. Are you ready for some epic shit?
So let's discuss pegging. What is pegging? Pegging is a sexual act that is all about a power dynamic shift and or change. Meaning typically during a sexual act of a heterosexual couple, a penis owner penetrates a vulva owner. With pegging, you reverse that dynamic. So this is when the vulva owner penetrates the penis owner. How is pegging different from anal sex? It's really not. The only differentiation is in the power dynamic exchange. It is still anal sex, except for this time, like I said, the penis owner is being penetrated rather than the vulva owner. Pegging is considered a taboo topic when it really shouldn't be in the sex world or the sex education world, because society has made being penetrated something to be associated with femininity. And so if you like to be penetrated, you are an effeminate person, which isn't true. And so typically penis owners get shamed and or ridiculed if they want to participate in any type of anal play, whether it be pegging, whether it be prostate play. They are typically considered effeminate and or their sexuality is questioned because they want to explore this pleasure, which isn't fair because it is a form of pleasure that all penis owners can experience and have the right to experience. So let's discuss why pegging is appealing to both penis owners and vulva owners. It is appealing to penis owners because it gives them the opportunity to explore what is called a prostate orgasm. A prostate orgasm is when a man's prostate is stimulated and it causes sometimes an ejaculation or a full body orgasm. The prostate orgasm is considered the super orgasm for men because you can have a prostate orgasm without ejaculating, and you can have multiple prostate orgasms at like one right after another with no refractory period. So it's probably as comparable as you can get to like a vulva's owner's multiple orgasm. The prostate is located about 2 inches inside of a penis owner's rectum. Now, only penis owners have prostates. If you're a vulva owner, you do not have a prostate. However, you can still participate in anal play and it's going to feel good. Pegging has increased in popularity amongst vulva owners because it gives them the ability to, in a way, control the sexual act that is happening because they are in control of the penetration, meaning they are in control of the rhythm, the pace, also the positioning. It empowers vulva owners to take on a more dominating role in the sexual act itself, as well as there are a lot of pegging toys that can provide stimulation both for the penis owner and the vulva owner. So for example, double-ended dildos and or strap-ons can help the vulva owner reach orgasmic state while the penis owner does as well. And it helps tighten the pelvic floors of the vulva owner themselves. It's basically a form of exercise. And pegging allows the vulva owner to be more expressive during the act itself because pegging requires a lot of communication between partners. And the communication typically is driven by the person who is penetrating. And so this allows vulva owners to kind of have their own voice during the sexual act itself by saying things of how is this speed? Does this feel good? Do you want me to go harder, slower, faster? It just allows them to be a bit more sexually expressive, which is very empowering to vulva owners. Now let's dive a little bit into the how-to of pegging. First things first, you need enthusiastic consent from your partner if you are interested in pegging them, and or if you are the one being pegged, enthusiastic consent from your partner who is pegging you. Why? Because consent is key. You should never be doing a sexual act that does not have consent prior. It's not a fun surprise, especially when it comes to anal play and, well, all sexual acts, but really anal play too. Anal play is considered a taboo topic, and a lot of people have their own preconceived notions about anal play. And so you should always, always, always ask for consent and have the conversation ahead of time before ever participating in pegging. Number 2, anal play before anal penetration and practicing anal stretching. Why? Because we do not, if we have never participated in any type of anal play, whether you're a vulva owner or a penis owner, you do not want to go from 0 to a full size toy and or genitalia right off the bat. This increases the ability of you being hurt, injury, you not liking it, you not having any source of pleasure from it. It causes a lot of bad things to happen. So we want to practice anal play and anal stretching before we ever have anal sex. So anal play is stimulating the area outside of the anus, whether it is by rimming, by having your partner use their tongue, if it's by using your fingers, if it's by using a vibrator. You want to get your anus used to the sensation of something being back there. And the anus itself is covered, like the outside, the external part is covered in nerve endings. And you can have an anal orgasm just by playing with those nerve endings externally before you ever do penetration. So let's discuss some toys to use if you are going to practice anal stretching. You're going to want to go get one of these, which is an anal plug kit. So what this kit is going to consist of is usually 3 or 4 sizes of anal plugs, and they are going to change in size from girth and or height. So you want to start with the smallest one first. Remember, we're not going 0 to 100. You want to start with the smallest one first, and you also don't want to be jamming the smallest one inside of you in the first session. Basically, what you are going to do is you are going to put a lot of water-based lubricant on this toy. Why? Because it's silicone. If you use a silicone-based lubricant, it will eventually deteriorate your toy. So we want a water-based lubricant, and you want to lube this baby up enough to where it's almost slipping out of your hands. Then you are going to start by slowly inserting this into your body 1 inch at a time. So what I'm saying is, with your anus, you are doing the top of it, you are letting it sit in there for a few seconds, then you are pulling it out, reinserting the exact same length over and over. Once that feels comfortable, then go ahead and do another 1 or 2 inches and repeat the process. Your first session using one of these anal plugs, you may not be able to get the entire thing inside of you. That's okay. This is a slow process. And if you are interested in pegging, you can have your partner use this toy on you so that you can kind of relax, and they can put the toy inside and outside of you. So they still get that feeling of pegging without going to the extreme of a large toy or a strap-on. You do not move up in terms of the size of the toy until you can take the smallest one and leave it inside of you for a session. And it's comfortable and you're in no pain and it shouldn't hurt. And this is one of the reasons I really tell people not to use numbing creams anally as well, is because it's not supposed to hurt. If it's hurt, you're going too fast or you're putting too much in there, and you need to slow down. If you put a numbing cream on your anus, you increase the risk of you being hurt because it does numb the area, and your partner may put the toy in, or you may put the toy in way too quickly and cause tears, because the anus is a muscle. It can tear, and we want to make sure that we are doing this safely. As well as when you are done using the toy, whether it's with a solo session or a partner session, you do not want to quickly pull out the toy out of your anus. You want to do it nice and slow, because if you pull it out too quickly, once again, can cause injury and shit happens. You can also buy toys that are specific for pegging, and typically they come in a variety of sizes as well, and you just use them just like you would the anal training kit. And you would use these the exact same way. So typically they are purchased individually. It's not a kit, but they do change in the length and the girth the larger the size, right? So you always want to start with the smallest one first. Now always go to the site and get the smallest one. And if the smallest one is intimidating, go find something that's smaller and or thinner, whatever makes you most comfortable. And remember, even if you buy the smallest toy, you are not inserting all of this in you in one session. Typically, I don't want to say typically because it depends on everybody. It could be a dozen plus sessions before you can fully insert an anal plug of some sort or anal beads of some sort into your body comfortably. So don't rush the freaking process, because if you rush the process, you're gonna get hurt, and then you're gonna hate it, and then you're not gonna want to participate in it, and that's not what we want. Now, the difference between pegging toys versus the anal plug toys, as you can see, is the pegging toys have that curve, because remember, if we are pegging specifically, it's on penis owners. We want this curve to hit the prostate, while anal toys tend to be straight edged and tapered. So after you have practiced anal stretching and you can comfortably hold a toy inside of you for a session, this is when we can start moving into some of the larger toys, such as your strap-ons or strapless strap-ons or double-sided dildos, whichever you prefer. Now, the strapless strap-ons that are made specifically for vulva owners are typically going to provide you more with that pelvic floor exercise, because one side gets inserted into the vulva while the other side is used to penetrate the anus of the penis owner. And so to hold one side inside of you, whether it's a strapless strap-on or a double-sided dildo, takes a lot of strength to be able to hold this in while controlling the thrusting and penetration of the other side of the toy. So this really helps strengthen your pelvic walls as a vulva owner. And some people prefer these style strap-ons versus the old-fashioned strap-ons that typically go around the waist, they go over the thighs, connect through the waist, because those tend to not give any type of stimulation to the vulva owners. While if you use something like a double-sided dildo and or a strapless strap-on, both partners receive some type of stimulation. Some of them even comes with remotes, so you can control the vibration. Now you are about to participate in pegging. You need to know anal prep, because there is prep that you need to be doing before participating in any type of anal sex. Now, number one is you want to make sure that you have a bowel movement at least 24 hours ahead of time, or as close to the session as possible. This is to ensure that your system is cleaned out. Do not eat any type of food the day of the session that is going to upset your stomach in any way, shape, or form. No greasy food, spicy food, any of that stuff. You kind of want to stick to a bland diet. And we also need to discuss that someone can do all of the prep work and literal shit happens. You have to understand that going into a pegging session or any type of anal sex, there is always a possibility of feces coming out. It is the hole in which waste is removed from your body. And so both partners should be aware of that and well educated with that even you could do all of the prep work in the entire world and something still may happen. We're all fucking adults. handle it like adults. Make sure you have products to clean it up. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Both partners should be educated that this may happen, even though all of the prep work is done. It's just a fact, and we're going to discuss. Now, the age-old debate of, do you douche or do you not douche? Or do you not douche? That is completely up to individual preference and should be a conversation that you have with your partner beforehand, whether they want you to, whether you are comfortable in order to do it. If you are having typically regular bowel movements, there's not really a need to douche. And douching does, however, rid waste in your system, but it also can wash out good bacteria in your system. So you need to have that conversation with your partner, or if it makes you feel cleaner, you are more than welcome to do it. If you have a bidet, it will help do the exact same thing. If you have never douched before, you are going to want to research how to douche, and you're going to want to do it over a toilet or in the shower, because obviously the liquid, the saline solution, is going to come out of you. But do your research, have the conversation with your partner whether or not you want. Next, you're going to want to make sure that the area is prepped with supplies needed. So whatever toys you are using for the pegging session, lots of lubrication. If you're using toys, remember we want a water-based lubricant so it doesn't mess up your silicone toys, because a lot of toys are made of silicone. You're going to want some paper towels, some wet wipes, some towels in general, just in case an accident happens, you can clean up quickly and no one's embarrassed. Sometimes you may need like a trash bag or something along those lines to throw it in the trash bag, get it out of the room. But those are typically the supplies that you need in order to do a pegging session. And next, we're going to discuss lubricant. Once again, because so many people participate in anal sex and or pegging and do not use lubricant, which is the worst thing you could possibly do. And no, spit does not, it is not enough lubricant. Either is the arousal of you or your partner. You need a solid water-based lubricant. If you are having anal sex, it can be silicone-based. Water-based tends to work best with toys and sensitive skin. You need a bit more of it than you do with silicone. Silicone tends to be stickier, which makes it glide obviously in and out a little bit easier, but some people may have reactions to that. But you need to pick a lubricant and you need to use a lot of it. And not only lubricating the toy and or your genitalia, lubricate around the anus as well. And the last thing we're going to discuss is communication, because it is vital for any type of sexual act, but specifically anal play between both partners. If you cannot openly communicate with a partner, you should not be participating in anal sex. If you cannot say, stop, that hurts, or you're going too fast, or I need to take a break, or how does that feel, you should not be participating in anal sex, because there are a decent amount of injuries that can happen if one partner is pegging too quickly, too hard, if they get a little carried away. So you need to be able to communicate with your partner during the entire session. Does this mean you guys need to be yammering on for a 20-minute session? No, but you need to be able to say, hey, slow down. Hey, that doesn't feel good. Have some type of safe word. You need to be able to discuss it with your partner so you are both safe. And if you were sitting here and you're like, Amanda, that was so much information. Like, how do I keep all of that to myself? I am working on putting together kind of an ebook. Hopefully it will come out next month. It was supposed to drop this month. It's not going to happen. That is all about anal sex in general. It's going to discuss anal play, anal stretching. It's going to discuss douching. It's going to discuss pegging. It's going to have all of the toys that I've spoken about here and more listed in the ebook. So keep an eye out for that to drop at some point in February. But of course, if you have...
Thank you so much for listening to Smex Ed with Amanda. And some parting words for you today. Remember this: no matter how hard society pushes you down, no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get the fuck back up, they can never stop you. You are unfuckable with. You will win. Don't allow this world to dictate how you show up in it. Don't allow society to make you bend the knee. Instead, make them bend theirs. And don't forget, if you like what you heard, go on to iTunes and Spotify and leave your girl a review. Until next time, my beautiful people.